Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the 5 to 9 Job podcast. My name is Raymond, and today is another bonus episode. Today, I am actually trying out some, if you have noticed from all the other previous episodes, is that there is a way I speak. So I speak in a way that, let me say if I'm saying for the intro. Hello, my name is Raymond. Welcome back to the 5 to 9 Job. Welcome to another bonus episode. I have that habit that in this episode, I want to try to fight and see if I can solve it or if I can do a full episode without having that elongated. Okay, that one was really bad, but yeah, that is what I'm trying to achieve in this podcast. One of the things that this podcast is supposed to be a platform for me to kind of become better at how I communicate. So, sorry for everyone that is listening that doesn't really want to follow my journey, but I'm still going to release this. I'm still going to go through it, and it's going to be 30 minutes long, so buckle up. Okay, so for all bonus episodes, we always begin with an update. So an update on the podcast, life, and everything in the middle. With the podcast, I'm actually trying to get it more focused and trying to do my thing and just doing my thing, at the beginning or in the other season, the first season of the 5 to 9 Job podcast, I was all over the place trying to experiment, and I really did get some nice feedback on some things, but I could do better and I could have a better kind of outlet for the podcast. So that is what I've been trying to work on, trying to have a good schedule so that everything is predictable, but at the same time giving everyone as much value as I can, as well as achieving all the goals that this podcast has. And I also realized while I was reviewing the podcast that I have so many names that I don't use. Remember how I have been buying microphones only to record TikTok and then realize that the iPhone microphone is such a good option to use. You guys, the time I recorded the video episode for the podcast in episode 1 of season 2, that was the phone's microphone, and the phone was literally a meter or a meter and a half away from me, and still got to that good quality audio that at the end of it all, I sincerely asked myself, why have you spent hundreds of shillings on microphones? I think I've spent around 700k on microphones, and I still didn't like my latest addition, although that's what I am using now, just because I spent money on it and I'm not going to not use it. So yeah, I just realized that I have so many mics that I don't use. At first, I thought it would be a way to kind of thank people for listening. So if a creator listened, or if you just listened and you reached out to me, I could give them to you. But yeah, I guess not so many people listen to the podcast. And I'm in the second week of my no employment. I have shared in some of the other podcasts, I quit my job at the end of last month. So far, nothing has really set in because I've had an offer here and there. I've been just taking time off to do some courses and then just play tennis and relax. So I have not yet gone into that stage of regret or the panic hasn't yet set in, but I'll be sure to let you guys know once that comes in. And I am talking about this because I want to be more open and learn to tell my story. I picked inspiration from Andrew at Beizzo Nkiboozi. There was a story he told in one of his episodes about the guy that was failing in class, and then his mom came on video and he had this whole turnaround, and he turned around his life. He started performing well, and he was actually a top performer. So I just like the way he told that story, that, I kept on telling myself, you know what, I should be as good a storyteller as Andrew is on his podcast. And for anyone that is listening here, you should definitely catch Andrew at Beizzo Nkiboozi. And actually, for this bonus episode, it's the first of its kind that we are doing a Creator of the Week segment. One of the goals, like I have said in some of the episodes preceding this one, is that the 5 to 9 Job, I want this podcast to be a platform for other creators. And one of the ways we can do that is by boasting and showcasing some of these other creators that I find interesting, and I can just have a shout out to them. So for this week's bonus episode, the shout out is to Beizzo Nkiboozi. So Andrew Berinde at Beizzo Nkiboozi. It's amazing to see people's journey, and he definitely has a bright future ahead if he just doubles down and remains consistent. Beizzo Nkiboozi has been one I've listened to from the first episode, and I can definitely recommend them. They are getting better, they are getting more insightful. So for anyone that is listening to the 5-9 job, we are in the same category. He's going to be a good one, a good option for you. So definitely catch him at Beizzo Nkiboozi. I think he should actually celebrate his consistency more than he does, because this guy has done his podcast consistently on every Monday for now close to a year, and that is something to be proud of. I mean, I have myself failed to keep to my schedule, and I even actually took off a break for 1 month. So seeing how committed he is to actually doing his podcast is just so inspiring, and that is the creator that we are trying to lift up this week. And this being a platform where I want to raise a collective, I just want to encourage anyone that wants a shout out to reach out to me, and I'll be able to, engage you or feature you in one of these segments. Okay, so this being a bonus episode, we are going to go on to the first thoughts that I have been having or that I wanted to share. So one is just the title that content creators aren't more troubled, they are just more vocal. You see, people assume that content creators are struggling more than everyone else. Just because we are the ones on YouTube crying about mental health, we are the ones sharing when we have a hardship, we are the ones that are out there. But that doesn't say or mean that we have more problems. We have thrown ourselves over the edge. So when things go wrong, we share. That's the difference between you and us. As content creators, we are more, I should say, inclined to share it when something is going wrong or when something is going right. That's why you see that a lot of the guys crying about mental health, or when they need a break, or complaining about their bosses, are content creators, because they have already put themselves out there. They stand to lose nothing by telling you what they think. Okay, they stand to lose something, but they have less barriers. So it's not always because we are the most troubled. Some are, yes, sure, but most of us, we are just wired to express, I guess. So that was the first thought I had, and I just wanted to just like educate the masses or something. Anyway, okay. Two is chasing the shadow instead of your future self. So this is an analogy, but simply put, it demonstrates that most people are chasing after shadows instead of staying true to who you are or who they are. So comparing themselves with other people's shiny outside instead of themselves, like Jordan Peterson always says. Comparing yourself to an image that is not you, that has gone through circumstances that you have not gone through. Comparing yourself without understanding the process that the person needed to go through to project the image that you now see. You see, that is the shadow, that image that others cast into your vision just because you are comparing yourself to them. So just take a moment and ask yourself, who told you that you need to have the lifestyle that you are chasing? Like, where did it really come from for you to say, I want to live in Kololo, I want to drive a BMW or a GLE, or have a wife from, Mbara or something like that. You guys, I'm just throwing out away random things. Like, this is not on my list. Like, who said you had to have that amount of money, that kind of house, that kind of success? And you see, so many of us are stuck comparing ourselves to these shadows, the friends, the celebrities, the neighbors, or even the vague idea of what society says we should be. And for me personally, I don't know about you guys, it's exhausting. It's why we are burnt out, depressed, and struggling to keep up sincerely. So I wrote this down to kind of remind myself to only run after my true self and focus more on the process. And I hope you guys will do the same by asking yourself, what does success look like for you, for me? What's worth your energy? Because I can assure you, it is anticlimactic to reach the end of your life and realize you aren't where you wanted to be. You are not doing what you wanted to do, and it's just because you have been chasing a shadow all along. And it reaches a moment when this person that you are comparing yourself to dies or transitions into another life, and the shadow goes away, and then you remain with no vision to where you are going. And then you're like, okay, what do I do? But if you had been chasing your true self, your future self, you'd be in a far better position. So that's basically what this thought of chasing the shadow instead of chasing your future self, or chasing your future self instead of chasing the shadow, meant when I wrote it down. And then on to three. This one, I am again going back to my work, people. Regardless of the fact that I quit, I still, see things as I interact with some of the landlords, some of the people I am trying to do business with. So the thing is, your work environment matters more than you think. Your work environment, so where you work with, the people you work with, really matters and shapes a lot of who you are, how you become, and how you live. So if you, for example, have a good work environment, first of all, I would say you need to be thankful, because not everyone else does, but it's going to help you to grow in ways that people without it are definitely going to have trouble. So here are four things to appreciate if you have them, and maybe this could be signs that you have a good work environment, or to like at least try to identify which kind of environment you are in. So one is a boss who actually listens. You see, not everyone gets leadership that values their input. So if the people are above you, or the people that lead you, whether it's hierarchical or at the same level, like horizontally, and they respect you, they actually listen to you, that is a good work. That's literally what makes up a good work environment. Two is supportive co-workers. So everyone knows that work sucks less when the people around you are decent, they are livable, workable with. It just makes life and work more tolerable when you can relate with someone at work. So that's definitely another good hallmark of what good work environment is. Three is fair play and growth opportunities. If you are learning and improving, and you are in a good position to be elevated, that is definitely a good workplace. And then four, a culture that does not drain your soul. You see, some jobs literally make you miserable. And if yours doesn't, that's a huge win. So these four are going to show you that you have a good work environment. These four can also, on the other hand, show you that you don't have a good work environment. And I did an episode on quitting, and I hope it's out by the time this is out. But I, the whole thing of the episode was, do not quit before you actually evaluate these things. Before you quit, first try to find one thing to be grateful for, because you see, where focus goes, energy flows. So maybe in the next 6 months, you will love your job if you just appreciated the coffee they give you. Maybe if they give you lunch, then after appreciating lunch, you appreciate that they give you medical, because those are all extra benefits that not a lot of people have. Either way, you're going to grow, because within the next 1 year, you'll be able to find more and more things that you like, just because your mindset has changed. So yeah, that's how mindset really affects you, or how work environment affects you, and why it matters more than you think. And then three is work culture and the voice of common sense. So I watched a pretty cool, intense, intellectual interview between Piers Morgan and Andrew Tate. And I was like, wow, these guys are discussing topics at a level that I might not be able to do this here. Because obviously I'm getting better, but it was interesting to see specifically how they debated about work culture and how it started with good intentions. You see, fighting for equality, representations, fairness, but how now it has turned into something else. And what Piers Morgan from all that said, that the way it has eroded into this thing of forcing people, if you're not with us, you're against us, something like that kind of mentality. He was like a better model to follow that should now be transitioned into, should be a model of the voice of common sense. So where true equality isn't about forcing ideas on people, where it's about balance, where it's about conversation, about actual exchange instead of trying to guilt trip the other person, trying to catch them, trying to all these things that this work is. Sorry you guys if I get cancelled. I will take it on. But how everyone tries to perceive it, and I think I shouldn't actually be saying this on air, but otherwise, if you're just applying wokeness to everything, it stops being progress and starts being something more extreme. It's like, I don't know if they call it fascism or something like that, but it was just this whole interesting conversation about how woke culture started with good intentions, yes, but has now turned into this extreme end, and we can drive it back to the middle by applying a model of a voice of common sense, something like that. But anyway, just go and listen to a clip or the full interview. It's a good one to watch, and especially how these guys were trying to catch themselves. It's like, if you guys have watched these old, I should say, cowboy movies, whereby when they have to duel, is it at noon, and then they face each other and they walk like so, and then everyone has a gun with one bullet, and then they have to catch themselves. These guys were at gunpoint every like 5 seconds or something like that. Well, but the interview is fun to listen to, so you guys can just go and check that out. Okay, and then number 4 is good customer care is everything. So this one was just my kind of plea to everyone that is running a service-based business. Customers don't just buy products, they don't just buy services, they don't just come into you because they like you. They buy experiences. So if they know that they are going to get good service from you, they will stay. It's that simple. Whether it's tenants in real estate, clients in business, or even friendships. Yes. I mean, people stick where they feel valued. So ask yourself, are you delivering an experience worth coming back for? Or are you just running a business because you can do what the service, or you can do the service that these guys are coming to you for, or you can deliver the products? It's no longer just about the products and the service. It's also about the kind of experience that you offer to your clients, and that is best controlled through customer care and service. So yeah, just something that everyone should like seriously consider. And I guess that's an end to this episode and this experiment, although I know a few times during the recording I went off track. But anyway, if this episode resonated with you, let me know, and remember that you define your own success, do not chase the shadow, and please subscribe, leave a review, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and I will see you in the next episode of the 5 to 9 Job podcast. Bye-bye.